The House of Echoes. The Andersons, a family of four, had finally found their dream home, a charming Victorian nestled in a picturesque neighborhood. As they moved in, their excitement was palpable, and they couldn't wait to start a new chapter of their lives together. Little did they know that chapter would be a chilling tale of the past, destined to haunt their every step. The house, though in need of a little TLC, was perfect in their eyes. It had spacious rooms, a sprawling backyard, and a history that seemed ripe for exploration. However, it wasn't long before strange things began to happen. At first it was subtle, a faint whisper in the night, a door creaking when no one was near, and shadows moving in the corner of their eyes. Sarah, the mother, brushed these occurrences off as products of an overactive imagination. Her husband, David, shared her skepticism. Their two children, Emma and Jake, were not so easily convinced. Emma, at the tender age of 8, claimed to have seen a girl her age in a faded blue dress, her eyes filled with sadness, standing by the window. Jake, who was a year younger, spoke of a man in old-fashioned clothes who watched him from the foot of his bed. One evening, as Sarah was putting Emma to bed, the young girl said, "Mummy, the girl in the blue dress is sad. She talks to me sometimes, but I can't hear what she's saying." Sarah laughed nervously, attributing it to a child's vivid imagination. But when she mentioned it to David later, he seemed uneasy. He confessed that he'd felt a strange presence in the house, as if they were being watched. That night they heard it, a faint, mournful whisper that seemed to come from the walls themselves. It was impossible to decipher the words, but it sent shivers down their spines. David was determined to get to the bottom of the mystery, and he began researching the history of the house. His search led him to a grim discovery. A gruesome murder had taken place in their home decades ago. A young girl in a blue dress and a man in old-fashioned clothes had been the victims. The details were chilling. The girl's body found in the very room where Emma slept, and the man's body at the foot of Jake's bed. David hesitated to share this information with Sarah, not wanting to frighten her further. Instead, he contacted a local historian to learn more about the tragedy. The historian confirmed the murder, explaining that it had remained unsolved to this day. Sarah, however, began to sense that something was amiss. The whispers grew louder and she saw shadows moving through the house. The once charming Victorian now felt like a prison, its walls closing in around her. One night, as she was tucking Emma into bed, the girl whispered, "The girl in the blue dress wants us to leave, Mummy. She says it's not safe here." Sarah's heart raced. She knew they couldn't stay in a house haunted by the echoes of such a horrifying past. She convinced David to tell her the truth, and when he did, they made a decision: to leave the house as soon as possible. But the house had other plans. As they packed their belongings, the whispers grew louder and more frantic. Doors slammed shut on their own, and the shadows seemed to reach out for them. It was as if the spirits of the murdered girl and the man were trying to hold them back, to keep them from leaving. In a final act of defiance, the house plunged into darkness, its windows shattering with a deafening roar. Sarah, David, and the children fled, leaving behind their possessions and the House of Echoes. As they stood on the sidewalk, gasping for breath, they watched in horror as the house collapsed in on itself, engulfed in flames that seemed to burn with a malevolent rage. The firefighters arrived, but it was too late. The house was reduced to ashes, and the echoes of its tragic past were silenced forever. The Andersons moved on, finding a new home far from the memories of that fateful place. But the chilling whispers and shadows of the House of Echoes would stay with them, a reminder that some horrors never truly fade away.